Okay, you may now begin.
Good morning. This is Rick Nelson. I'm the chair of the Housing Opportunity Commission Budget Finance and Audit Committee. This is our October 21st, 2022 meeting. I'm joined by my fellow Commissioner Fran Kelleher, the other member of the committee, Commissioner Merkowitz, who is able to attend today. Also joined by HOC Executive Director Chelsea Andrews and a variety of other staff. We will begin today's meeting with the first item of business, which is the approval of the minutes of September 27th. There are motions for approval.
I move that we approve the minutes of September 27th, 2022.
Second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor, say
Aye.
aye. So the minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is the calendar year. I'm sorry.
Could I just ask, Rick, is this meeting being recorded? I haven't seen indication that it is.
Yes, it is being recorded.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
Yes. And by the way, apologies for the late start. We were having some technical difficulties. The next item on the agenda is the calendar year 2023 portfolio budget. And to introduce that subject, I will turn the meeting over to Executive Director Chelsea Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioner Kelleher, members of the public and HOC staff. This first matter is a request for the committee's approval of our calendar year 2023 portfolio budgets. In the past, this presentation only included our LIHTC properties, which were on the calendar year. This year, it also includes the Lindley, which is one of our properties that is also on a calendar year. You will see that we have provided a detailed overview of each of the properties, and our recommendations are incorporated in the memorandum. I am going to refer the discussion and explanation of this matter to our acting Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Getzinger, and his team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Nelson and Executive Director Andrews. For the record, my name is Tim Getzinger. I'm the Acting Chief Financial Officer as well as the Chief Development Funds Officer. There are three items, as we mentioned today. The first two items are going to be regarding two different types of budget. One is going to be the calendar year budget, for which the Executive Director just provided an introduction, and the second is going to be the operating budget. Our budget officer, Gary Fowler, will be presenting both items, and with that, I'm going to kick it off to Terry to provide you with details of the first agenda item. Terry.
Good morning, Commissioners, Executive Director Andrews, and the viewing public and staff. If you look at page 8 in your packet, the calendar year portfolio consists of 16 LIHTC partnerships that own 18 properties. And as Executive Director Andrews mentioned, also included is the Lindley, because that property is also operated on a calendar year. If we go to page 14 in the packet, we are anticipating a net cash flow of $7.3 million from the 16 LIHTC partnerships. There are 6 properties shaded in peach that have been re-syndicated as new LIHTC transactions and commenced renovations in calendar 21 and 22 that will continue into calendar 23. During, I'm sorry, Commissioner Kelleher?
No, wait, Nelson. Can I just ask that when the viewing public in case there aren't none out there, when we use the term LIHTC, that's low-income housing tax credit property, for those who are unaware of what that term means. Sorry for interrupting.
No, I appreciate it. I thought about that, so thank you for reading my mind. And it is tax low-income housing tax credit partnership. The reason we're shading the properties in peach is that during renovations, vacancy is anticipated to be higher than normal to support renovations. Reserve contributions are placed on hold, and debt service payments are incorporated into the development budget. Therefore, the projected income from operations during calendar 23 is not contingent on past performance or indicative of future anticipated property performance. For that reason, we do not include those in the following chart showing historical performance. The consolidated cash flow for the properties is $4.64 million, and if we were to exclude those, the projected cash would be $2.75 million. In addition, residents on the lane, which is shaded in green, began unit delivery in early calendar 22, and for that reason, it is also excluded in the charts. It is important to realize that the cash flow for the portfolio is restricted to the properties. However, HOC is responsible for covering any loss that occur in the operations of the tax credit portfolio. And for calendar 23, we are not projecting any deficits in the budget. The agency receives partnership management fees from the portfolio on many of the properties. We are projecting approximately $157,000, which is an increase of 0.6% or $940 when compared to calendar 22. All of the properties are budgeted to have adequate cash flow to generate enough funds to pay the limited partner, the asset management or investor service fee due them, and the partnership to HOC with the exception of Spring Garden. I would also like to note that there are no distributions of asset management or partnership management fees for the 3 manor properties, as no fees will be collected for these properties until they have converted to permanent financing. The budgets assume the voluntary rent guidelines rent increase of 1.4% for all properties with the exception of those that are tied to the OCAF or operating cost effective from HUD. These properties include Arcola Towers, Bower Park, Shady Grove, and Waverly House, currently increasing at the 2.5% OCAF rate, and Forest Oak, which is budgeted to increase at 1%, and Georgian Court, which is budgeted to increase at 1.9%. A capital analysis was completed to see if the properties can support the current budgeted capital needs and future years' capital needs. This is true for all properties with the exception of Forest Oak Towers and Metro Point. We have reviewed the budgets for both properties and determined that the properties have adequate cash flow to increase the RFR to the necessary level. Also included, as mentioned, is the Lindley, which operates on a calendar basis. For that property, you can see that there is an increase in revenue, and that's largely due to the draw from the Opportunity Housing Reserve Fund to support the additional debt service payments resulting from the change in investor. And I would be happy to address any questions you have related to the packet.
Could I just ask that you also define RFR for the public since it's used throughout the packet without any footnoting of what it is?
Absolutely. RFR stands for Replacement for Reserves. Those are annual contributions made to a reserve that is used to support the capital needs of the property.
Thank you.
Annie, would you refresh my memory as to why the Lindley is on calendar year since it's not a LIHTC property?
it's not part of the agency's operating budget, and I do believe it is due to the partnership that is with the investor. But I do defer to Zach or Kayreen, who are on the call, to explain further.
So, I think good morning, Kayreen Brown, Deputy Executive Director for the record. When the Lindley was initially financed, you may recall that we had conventional financing and private investor financing, and so the operating year was established as calendar to coincide with the investors' operating year of December 31st, and so it continues on that path.
Okay. You have any further questions, Commissioner Keller?
No, thank you.
Then I would entertain a motion to refer this item to the full commission.
I move that we refer this particular item to the full commission meeting.
I second, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is approved. The next item, as Mr. Getzinger has mentioned, is the FY24 county operating budget. I believe Terry Fowler is going to give us the rundown on that.
Yes, and before both Terry Fowler and Mr. Getzinger speak, I just want to acknowledge that, of course, we continue to benefit from support from the county, and this is one of the ways that the county demonstrates its ongoing support for our operations. The fiscal year 24 operating budget that we are requesting that this committee allow us to put forward is a reflection of allocations that we have received in the past from the county. We have not made any major deviations in our, but it anticipates support from the county in the requests that we put forward. I would also like to indicate that due to timing, we might need to move this matter to the county in terms of request for funding between the time that this committee allows us to move forward in the actual commission meeting. And the way that we would pose it to the county is that this is the budget that has been reviewed and approved by the committee, pending approval from the commission, and would indicate the commission's board meeting. It is a practice that we've been able to do in the past with the county to allow them an opportunity to at least have a placeholder in the amount that we are requesting. They have yet, and I believe Mr. Getzinger can speak more fluently on the topic, they have not provided us with the exact date that we need to provide our operating budget. So we would take that course of action only if it should occur before the actual board meeting, where we need to make sure that they have a number in place for us. We would make sure that the proper disclaimer is affiliated with our submittal, indicating that it has gone through the committee, but it is still pending final review and approval by the full board. And with that, I'll allow, and I see you have a question, Commissioner Kelleher. I do want to also bring Tim Getzinger also on screen to be able to answer questions.
I just would like to comment, I'm fine with it being presented as a been through committee but not commission to the county. I do know that we have done that in the past because of timing issues. I would just be careful in the wording is the committee does not have authority to approve. The committee only has authority to recommend. And so it's just a minor word use there that I would suggest we be careful about. The committee has reviewed it and recommended it to the full commission, as opposed to the committee has approved it.
Oh, yes, yes. And we've used the standard verbiage that is typically included in those circumstances. Thank you.
Right.
And I might also add that when the packet is prepared for the full commission, you should mention that, in fact, the draft has been referred to the county because of their request and the timing required with that caveat. The other point I'd like, when you get into your presentation, Terry, just for the record, would you sort of compare this total contribution of the county to our total budget? Just clarify that it is not it's a relatively small percentage of our total operating budget. And it is needed and it is well appreciated, but to dispel fears that the county is a big supporter, not big supporter, but it's a majority supporter of HOC. I think we need to focus on the fact that it is important, but it's a small percentage.
Thank you.
Tim, I think you have been passed the ball.
Thank you very much, Commissioners and Executive Director Andrews. I did want to mention that we did hear back from the county. They're actually fine on the late submission, so we will not need to send this as a recommendation from the BFNA, but not a full ratification from the commission. So do want to say that and appreciate the counties letting us do that. With that, I will let.
And by the way, let me just, if I can, somewhere that needs to be documented. Just for
Will be
future
in the
reference.
packet.
For future reference, because others might one day say, how come you didn't get the stuff to the county by the 1st of November or something, or the 5th of November? So somewhere we need to document that the county has in fact said it's okay if you get it late.
Will do. Thank you very much. Well, let me go ahead and let Terry Fowler provide you with the presentation on this.
Mm-hmm.
Terry?
Thank you.
Tim. Good morning again. As Executive Director Andrews mentioned, the county this year has developed a staggered submission due date. The budgets are due either on October 28th, November 4th, or November 10th. Upon learning that the commission meeting will be on November 16th, staff did request an extension to accommodate the new commission date of November 16th in order to obtain commission approval before submission of the approved budget. And we did hear this morning that that has been approved and it will be in the packet that goes to the commission and stated at that point.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. We are requesting that the BFNA committee join our recommendation to the commission to authorize the submission of the FY24 county budget MARC, which stands for Maximum Allowed Agency Request Ceiling of $7,633,168. That is based on the FY23 approved MARC. It's important to note that we do not have the ability to request more than the county has preloaded in their system. So they are already aware of what we will be loading into the system. At this point, and this is typical, the MARC does not include the adjustment we requested for increases to compensation, health, and benefits, as well as rental license fees for additional units for the Battery Lane property that was acquired on May 25th. As you can see in your packet on page 22, you will see the breakdown of how the FY23 approved MARC was allocated. The majority of the county assistance, which equates typically to approximately 3 to 4% of the agency operating budget. As we have not yet developed the FY24 agency budget, we do not know the exact percentage, but in typical years, the support is 3 to 4% of our total operating budget. But as Commissioner Nelson mentioned, it is crucial and does provide matching funds primarily for our resident services division to acquire additional grants, either federal, state, or county. And you will see that, again, the majority of the budget supports our resident services division primarily for personnel costs. We also receive funds to support our electrical costs in our properties, as well as our HOA fees. And we receive reimbursement of the rental license fees that are paid to the county, which is why we were requesting additional funding for Battery Lane that was added. I would be happy to address any questions you may have on the packet.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner Kelleher?
No, I thought it was very straightforward and well documented.
Right, thank you. I agree. I then will entertain a motion to support the staff recommendation for the full commission.
I move that we support staff's recommendation for the county operating budget request to go to the full commission.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is approved. The next item on the agenda is the procurement of property management services. And to kick off that subject, I will turn the floor over to Executive Director Andrews.
Thank you. And for the IT team, just so that you know, there's some challenge with the document that you're previewing. If you can pull it down and reshare. For some reason, it's showing in a convoluted manner. Yes, thank you. Commissioners, this matter is one in which, as previously stated, we are looking for both the committee and the commission's support in moving forward with renewing property management contracts. This is an ongoing process in which we are seeking short-term extensions of current property management contracts to allow us an opportunity to continue operations until we move forward with a full and brand new procurement process for our properties in January or at the beginning of the year. This request has 6 properties. Today you're also joined by, and I want to make sure that I acknowledge that Ellen Goff is our acting director of property management. She's here with us today, as well as Alex Torton and many other supporting staff in regards to this request. But wanted to just indicate that, again, this is a standard process that we should anticipate a couple of additional recommendations to this committee as we move forward over the next few months. And I think it's a titrated every couple of months that we'll be coming back to seek renewals. And we will also approach, once we get and move forward with our full procurement, not wanting to bring all of our properties at one time, wanting to tier them out so that we won't face a circumstance where we have multiple contracts for our entire portfolio at one time. And so with that, I'd like to pass this matter over to our real estate team, both Ellen Goff and Alex, to present the information.
Thank you, Chelsea. For the record, my name is Ellen Goff, and I am the Acting Director of Property Management. And we are before you for the renewal of 4 property management contracts for 6 properties, including Battery Lane, Bradley Crossing, the Lindley, and the Willow Manor properties, which consist of 3 properties: Willow Manor, Cloppers Mill, Willow Manor at Colesville, and Willow Manor at Fair Hill Farm. And I'm going to turn it over to Alex Torton to present to you.
Good morning, everyone. And for the record, my name is Alex Torton, and I'm the asset manager with the Housing Opportunities Commission. The staff is requesting recommendation today to renew the property management contracts for Battery Lane with Alden Management, Bradley Crossing with Alden Management, the Lindley with Bizzuto Management Company, and the Willow Manor properties with Habitat America. Each renewal option is for a term of 1 year from December 1st, 2022 to November 30th, 2023. Each of these properties are newer acquisitions on their original term with an available renewal option, with Battery Lane acquired in May of 2022, Bradley Crossing acquired in June of 2021, the Lindley, which completed construction in 2018, and the 3 Willow Manor properties were acquired in November of 2018. Each of the Willow Manor properties is either currently undergoing renovations or has a future renovation scheduled. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner Kelleher?
No, this is fine. I wasn't aware that Lindley was scheduled for renovations, but other than that, no problem.
Not the, just to clarify, not the Lindley, the Willow Manor properties are the three that are either undergoing renovation or scheduled. Yep.
Okay, great. Good clarification. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then, having no questions, I'd entertain a motion to support staff recommendation to forward this to the full commission.
I move that the BFNA join staff's recommendation to the full commission to approve these property management contract extensions.
A second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is approved.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Is there any other business to be brought before the committee? Hearing none, then I will declare that the meeting of the Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee is hereby adjourned. Thank you all for your work and attendance.
Thank you, commissioners, and thank you,
Have a
staff.
good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Bye-bye.